Eyes. Stuff like that. Climb the drain? No.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
At the enemy outpost, Vialo Village. The village is crawling with enemy soldiers. Don't just go waltzing in. Start with some recon. Is there anywhere that overlooks the village? How about it? Can you see the village from there?
I can see the village from here.
Look at where the enemies are stationed. Look at their gear. Take it all in. There should be a command post somewhere. See any buildings with tighter security? If there are clues to Miller's whereabouts, I'll bet you can find them in there.
I gotta take another look for the setting that turns off those yellow tutorial suggestions.
Parabolic antenna. There could be intel files of some kind in there. A parabolic antenna. The Soviets must have added that themselves. Meaning there's communications equipment inside.
You can hide under some of these little bridges, but I'm mostly looking to see if there were any diamonds under there. Sorry, Lonnie. Wonder if we're having thunderstorms. Lonnie is hovering by my chair and he seems a little distraught, which is normal if there are thunderstorms. Not her thing. Oh! So you may hear her a whole bunch. Curtains are closed. I can't tell if it's stormy out. Could be. Yeah, I know. It's okay. That's Lonnie. Turn the power off during the day. Do they notice? Or they notice if you turn the power off at night. You turn it off during the day. Can you get away with it? Oh shit! Trooper paying even less attention than I was. Hey, this is no longer ground zero, so we can start putting these guys in dumpsters, and I don't have to put they won't wake up if I put them in a dumpster. I don't need to put a trank round in everyone's head. So they do notice when the power goes out, but do they notice during the day? Hey, that silly copyright claim I was talking about that blocked the Last of Us video. Email just popped about it being released. Usually when that stuff happens, those erroneous copyright claims, they do get released. Usually. There's still one on an old South Park video.
Sun's down already. It goes without saying that darkness is good for infiltration, but your vision will be affected just the same. Keep your guard up, for who knows when you'll bump into
I went astray. Where am I? I need to be going to the building with the antenna. Yeah. I'm just wandering. A wandering wanderer. But he may have noticed the gun on the ground. He's gonna check it out. He noticed something suspicious. But he's not gonna find the guy, right? Because he's in the dumpster. I didn't think the guns... Why would he even notice that? Didn't know they noticed that. Oh, it was the power. It wasn't the guy, it was the power. Power was off, he turned it back on.
You have arrived at your destination.
How did that... He didn't have a chance to yell to his buddies. You know what? I'm not putting him in a dumpster, so... He's kind of visible through the archway. Who cares? You stay there too. Getting something. Do we want to go up? The window open. You can jump through windows. You can break windows if they're closed.
So you picked up an intel file.
Extraction.
Now we know where Miller is.
Database.
I'm marking it on your iDroid.
The map updated.
Wasn't it already marked? Not carrying C4, am I? Not yet. You have night vision goggles. One of these bridges had diamonds. I'm not really gonna go hunting under bridges for diamonds, but stumble into it.
Planning to walk the whole wilderness on foot?
Yeah, what you gonna
Use
do
your
about it?
horse.
Oh. Control, control, you must learn control.
Whoa, whoa!
D-Horse is so weird. Speeds up and slows down. Man. Quite an artificial feel. But I don't need to take him out, we could just move on. But if I can pick up behind one, I should be able to get them both. Oh, I don't have much of a sneaking suit though, do I? No, don't turn your back on him. Snake. Nice dive, dude. Oh, first of those. Pretty many of those. It's okay, he gets better fast. So, after playing a little bit of Ground Zeroes and getting kind of used to those rules again, what's different in terms of knockouts? If you leave someone stunned, they will get up again, right? They just let it checkpoint with those alerts and encounters. It's not like I'm trying to rank things. Trying to S-rank things, just having fun. Besides, if we wanted to S-rank things, the goal would be to go
It's an
fast.
enemy guard post. Watch yourself.
Over. No, dude. I was trying to press. I wasn't thinking, but in terms of pressing against the ground, Y. Press with Y. Yeah, it helps not to stand up when you're trying to press against the ground. Really coming over here. Really want to come. I saw that. Kind of pull. woke his buddy up, and they didn't actually. I know there's someone here, though. Nice timing, dude. There's a third who's not marked. They're calling for reinforcements. Can't understand the language yet. Move instead of animating. Well, we're off to a great start.
Whoa, whoa.
Yeah, well, they stay on him, track him. Used to have everything. Need to get used to how everything responds. That's right, they send out flares looking for you. They're moving in the direction of his last known position. Just ridden right by him.
Looks like the enemy's lost sight of you.
Extraction
They're
arrived.
gonna try to hunt you down.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I don't know if there's a pass we can use. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've reached one day. They've got Miller locked up in that town. Check your eyes, Roy, for his location. I hope to hell he's all right. He's not your average client.
Yeah.
Hey, oh, T-horse.
That's communications equipment used by the Outpost CP. It must be how they keep in touch with headquarters. If you destroy it, you might be able to cut off the CP from their HQ.
Come back to play a game you haven't played in a long time, your brain starts to tell you things you don't know if you can trust it. There's something
It's a heavy machine gun. Packs far more power than any
up
rifle.
there.
You can either use it yourself or destroy it. Either way, best keep in mind some way to deal with it.
You can stay here. Don't mind waking up the camp. Destroy the anti-aircraft radar. We can destroy. I'm great at stealth. We can destroy some stuff, but if I had C4, we could plant the charges and wait, pick our moment, and blow it all up, even as a use it as a distraction. Just a really bad place that I'm approaching from. Just really stupid of me. Because he just retreats to the same spot. Yeah, you saw something. I should have gone wide. I kind of wanted to come at... You saw what I wanted to come at. The building I marked up over there. And all I had to do was run down the hill in a different spot. He wouldn't have been any wiser. Come up over here. Not in front of the light, though.
Все проверил, ничего необычного. Прием. Это КП. Понял. Вернитесь на пост. Прием.
You have arrived at your destination.
Yeah, but was there anything here? No. Went off so fast. I didn't even mark him. Shit. I actually didn't see him run off. Which way he ran off means he's still out here unmarked, which is perfect. Let's let him stay with the tactical takedown. I want to see if he wakes back up. Can't remember if in Phantom Pain they wake up like they do in Ground Zeroes. His windows are closed. I would break them if I went through. It's tempting.
That's the building, boss. That's where they're holding Miller.
Stand there forever, guy? came all this way to bring you your sunglasses.
No more use for me, huh? Cause it's me. I'm here to get you out. Snake. They do something to your eyes? No, it's just bright as all.
Hey, trombones.
What took you so long?
What took you so long?
We'll talk, but not here.
15 minutes ago you got here. I obviously had not had my eyes on chat. If you're still there.
Extraction arrived at Metabase.
Well, then
You secured
greetings
the
to you,
target.
sir.
I'll send the chopper to get you out. Make your way to the RV. You can check the location on your iDroid.
Mission info has been updated.
Not bad. But, alright, we're gonna have guys outside. I can't just zerg. No real surprise, but...
You secured the target.
Oh, do I?
I'll send the chopper to get you out. Make your way to the RV. You can check the location on your iDroid.
Mission info has been updated.
You look well. Age hasn't slowed you down one bit. Not so heavy anymore, right? Magic words, boss.
Aw.
9 years here.
Really? All I had to do was not stand up and run for a few seconds more. Hey Jay, learn to play again, why don't you? We've got a lot of time for me to learn to play again.
Everything.
This is B-Squad. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is B-Squad. On station at LZ.
Support helicopter has arrived.
What? Come on, get down here.
Ahab, do you read me?
Needed me to touch the tag.
There's a gas
Hey.
covering the LZ. We can't land.
Well, I'm in the gas. What about me? Fucking lands. There's a gas covering the LZ. Well, if I'm breathing it, you can breathe it. Get down here and save us.
Boss, watch out. It's the skulls. Don't let them find us.
Extraction
Boss,
arrived
whatever
at
that
Metabase.
mist is, it's all around you. We can't see through it. I'm changing the RV so it's outside the mist. Get over there. The chopper will be waiting.
needed to destroy the anti-air radar first. What do you mean that effect? And then explain. That affects this?
Run, boss! You've got to lose him!
We gotta change the little bit of aim assist so that it doesn't snap the targets.
Will be loud from now on. The mist is cleared, and it looks like they're gone.
Do that. Let's look for a couple options while I'm thinking about it. Okay, it's not going to be in controls, but let's just review everything. Default, we're good. Auto aim correction. No, that's the one. Weapon will make aim automatic. No. When you first aim, it snaps the target. It's nice. It's helpful. I don't want to use it as a crutch. Need to learn to shoot again anyways. The rest of that stuff, let's leave it. And camera settings, mess with those. Subtitles, yes. Score, score records, number, tactical takedown, sure. Trial records, setting a new record, okay. Marker display, sides here. Read. You can avoid confrontation, of course. You just wait a little as you bait them under or over the bridge, then you go on foot via the clear path. Makes sense? So which is the one that keeps popping up if I want to see a tutorial? Change anything there? We're going to want to turn that off. Graphic settings. So those little tips, you have to wait for them to exhaust themselves. Show up
That's
once.
the unit that attacked us before. They came at us real fast in the same kind of mist. Our men, survivors from 9 years ago, were wiped out in minutes. I don't know what they want, but it's them. No mistake.
All right. Put Miller in.
Check out TRs. Boo! B is for boo. Yep. Alerts, alerts, alerts! Would have done much better to just hit checkpoints. Get those alerts and roll back to checkpoints. Robo-death. Hey. Every mission gets its own credit roll, so we're gonna skip them. Much of the time. Afghanistan today. Ocelot's briefing.
We're headed for the Seychelles. That's where our new home is now. Hey. That was some operation we had, huh? 9 years ago. Carving out our own world. Making our own future. And they took it away. I'm gonna rebuild it. Make a new place. Together. That we can call home. Yeah, we were dogs, all right. Slinking around out of Cypher's sight. Digging up whatever kind of dirty money we could find. You name it. We did it. You see this? Diamond Dogs. Our new home. A phantom of our former selves. Triumph. Death. We weren't allowed either. Yeah. I remember it all.
So much melodrama. Well, we'll get a lot more action tomorrow because we get to start running actual missions. You know, we did Ground Zeroes today. And then we had some cutscene simulator and tutorial. Cause rescue mission. We'll go settle in a little bit, maybe at the base. S7, hello. But we're not going to go much further here tonight. We'll be picking it up tomorrow. Only videos. Only videos.
Give my regards to your boss when you get home.
A damn fiddle.
Snake.
Just to
Kept
suffer.
you waiting, huh?
I can still feel the
Why are we
missions.
still here?
I'm gonna make them give back chapter
suffer.
3.
Every night,
Die.
I can feel my leg, and my arm, even my fingers. The body I've lost, the comrades I've lost, won't stop hurting. It's like they're all still there. You feel it too, don't you? I'm the one who got caught up with Cypher. A group above nations, even the US. And I was the parasite below, feeding off Zero's power. They came after you in Cyprus. Then Afghanistan. Cypher just keeps growing. Swallowing everything in its path. Getting bigger and bigger. Who knows how big now? Boss. I'm gonna make them give back our past. Take back everything that we've lost. And I won't rest until we do.
Approaching Mother Base.
Our new mother base. I don't know how long it'll take, but I'll make it bigger. Better than before.
Kaz, what should I do?
Boss?
Tell me. Tell me like you used to.
Sing to me like you used to. When we were young.
Things have changed, boss. We pull in money, recruits, just to combat Cypher. Rubbing our noses in bloody battlefield dirt. All for revenge. The world calls for wet work, and we answer. No greater good. No just cause.
Kaz.
Cypher sent us to hell. But we're going even deeper.
I know. I'm already a demon. Heaven's not my kind of place anyway.
Dogs of war for 9 whole years. That ends today. Now you're not sleeping, and we're not junkyard hounds. We're diamond dogs.
Let them talk.
We can crush Cypher, boss. And you can build the army that can do it.
Just one thing, Kaz. This isn't about the past. We're fighting for the future.
You'd like that, wouldn't you? With Snake and Quiet's outfit, huh?
Boss, there's something I want to talk
Yeah,
about.
perfectly normal.
Concerns the running of Mother Base.
Nothing to
Come
see
meet me.
here.
That won't work on me. I've had drug resistance training. Boss, come meet me.
La li lu le lo.
You came. This base belongs to you now. Make Diamond Dogs the force it deserves to be. Like any organization, we need good people, and we need to make good use of their talents. Miller asked me to lay that out for you. To start bringing people in, use this. It's a Fulton recovery device.
Yes!
When you're in the field, use it to extract any soldiers or prisoners you want back here.
Thank you.
2 + 2 = 5. 2 + 2 = 5. When you're in the field, use it to extract any soldiers or prisoners you want back here. And we'll see if we can't persuade them to join the ranks of Diamond Dogs. Go on. That won't work on me. I've had drug resistance. Go on. Test it. Go on. Go on. Test it out with the staff. Anyone you want. First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you?
Make a pose.
That's one way of doing it. Now extract it. Good. Extraction complete. You can only Fulton recover someone if they're not resisting. No dead bodies either. They don't make great recruits. The staff member you just extracted will be assigned to the team best suited to his abilities. See for yourself. Open your iDroid. Select staff. So that staff member was placed on the R&D team. The R&D team is in
Right.
charge of
He's
developing
not
all
good at
kinds
that.
of weapons and items that
Not
will
good at
support you
anything.
on missions. Take a look at the development list.
Select weapons items under the development heading.
That's the R&D team's development list. See the item called cardboard box? Didn't seem much use to me, but Miller was adamant that you'd want it on the list. The last word in infiltration technology, or so he said. In any case, we don't have the manpower to develop it just yet.
We can't
need more
develop a
staff on the
cardboard
team.
box. That's way too
Go extract a
complicated.
few more people. Boss, put the iDroid away for a moment. You can also Fulton extract individuals you've knocked out. Why don't you try knocking someone out with CQC next? Show them how it's done, boss. Give it a rest.
Then try it.
Go for them.
Doesn't work
not
on
me.
Ocelot. Go for them, not
Try
me.
throwing. It's the best way to knock someone out.
Hey, nice. Yeah, Steam summer sales on for the heads up on the games.
Extraction complete. One thing I should mention. A Fulton extraction won't always be successful. If the person is injured, the shock of it... If the person is injured, the shock of it could kill them. And if the weather's unfavorable, well, they could end up going
Safety
missing.
comes
You
first.
can determine the chance of success by approaching the person you want to extract. If you want to be sure you can get them out, best carry them to the chopper instead. All right, extract the next staff member.
Don't pull any punches.
Extract him. Use any method you like. Start by knocking him out, or you can.
Buddy
put him
coming to
in-
join.
If there are multiple, see them in quick succession. This allows you to. Any of them can strike back.
Eh, weren't quite close enough.
Boss, we have more people on the R&D team. Its level has gone up. They should be able to develop the cardboard box now. Open your iDroid.
Select weapons items under the development heading.
Now select cardboard box and start development. Just be aware that development requires funds. GMP.
Seems we have a
Watch
lot
we
of
don't
funds
end up in
from
the red.
just being connected online. It's collected over the past few years. Was that 13, 20 of those mother base coins? And 5.5 million GMP. Is that a lot at the start? Sounds like a lot. Stuff costs a shit.
Development is finished.
Yeah, supply drop. Why not?
You can have the support unit supply you with weapons and items you've developed. Think of it as your own personal delivery service.
Here, drop it on my head. Incoming! No! There we go.
When you call in a supply drop, watch you don't drop it on your head.
Or anyone else's head, unless that's your goal.
And there it is. Not sure what it's good for, but Miller said...
Oh, just look at that! That's what it's
Try it
good
out.
for, man.
One last thing. The staff members you extracted were all placed on the R&D team, but that was Miller's decision. If you think they belong somewhere else, you're free to move them around. Well, that about does it. You won't make any GMP or find recruits hanging around here. Board the chopper when you're ready for a mission. Open your iDroid and select a landing zone to tell it where to pick you up. Or if you're still in the mood for knocking guys on their asses, you can stay around here a while. Give the men some practice. Just come pay me a visit.
Key wrench. Oh, there's the fourth guy. Well, you don't get knocked out by hand. Because you're special. So during the tutorial, this is actually adding people to the base. But that doesn't normally work, does it? You can't add people to your base who are already on your base. But, this is what I love about the game. It's a sandbox. Doesn't matter that it's not 100% open world. It's a brilliant fucking sandbox. I love it.
Practice your CQC. Begin by grabbing it.
Why are you... Yeah, I think you just went back in time, Ocelot. We're done. We're done with that. Explore the base a little bit before we wrap for today. Tomorrow we will start actual missions. Completed restrain training? I really didn't? Why is that not checked off?
Once you've grabbed someone, you're free to do as you like. Interrogate him, knock him out, kill him. Scratch that last one.
Yeah, this guy works
Go
for
ahead,
us. Let's not kill him.
Good. Extract the staff member.
Can I go to the secret room yet? Jeez, I don't think so. We don't have a medical platform.
He'll stay unconscious for longer than if you throw him.
He'll stay unconscious for longer if you throw him. Okay. That's important. I can't be tranquilizing everybody.
This isn't like you, Snake. Tried one more time.
Oh, repeatedly. I thought you said he's knocked out longer if you throw him. I see the repeatedly strike on the screen, but what was he saying about
Extract him.
throwing him?
Oh, yeah.
Until we get our very, very fancy, most awesome Fulton in the world. We need to have clear skies.
Starting to feel like yourself again? The rest will fall into place with some time in the future. That won't work on you. I've had drug resistance. Starting to feel like yourself again? The rest will fall into place with some time in the field. Go ahead and call the chopper from your eye drawer.
Oh, thanks. Okay. I don't need a supply drop. We end up spending a lot of time on staff assignment screens. I'm gonna switch sides here. Select, deselect, switch display, okay. What are the other displays? I think that's the one I'm gonna wanna spend a lot of time in. Change assignment, these are already in the R&D team. Report unit. All staff. Waiting room, no one in the waiting room. Okay. Looking at down here. The yellow flag. D-pad. Other base, R&D team, unit function, rating, F. Just cleared that blinker. Alright, let's run around for a minute and we'll call the helicopter, get on the helicopter, and I think we'll wrap there. We're walled off for most of the base, and the base is very small right now. I'm rather, I don't know what the right word is, rather pleased, excited maybe even to have this game in front of us. This is a fairly long game.
Boss.
Talk.
The best thing about assault rifles is they're balanced between effective range and damage.
Where are your friends?
Thanks for that, boss.
You're welcome. Known Mastodon. I mean, I want to do the time trials. I'm not saying we're going to do every single mission or go for all the S ranks or what. I don't know what this playthrough is going to turn out like. But I'm rather excited for having it in front of us. Good long game, one of my favorite games, a sandbox game, a batshit crazy game with so many possibilities. Here, let's climb this. Because. As we build up the base, we explore the higher levels and the we're all going to bed soon. Yeah, I'm checking out in a few minutes, KG. Good night to you. Thanks for hanging out and sleep well. As the base gets bigger and we have more levels and more platforms, we'll find more stuff laying around. Procyon, later in the game when the base is well developed, you'd like to set an appropriate helicopter theme song and have it transport you from platform to platform. You use that to scout out some of the stuff on the platforms, or just because it's awesome? I can understand. Not finding any diamonds today.
Well, what do we have here? You must be a new arrival.
Arustum. Wondering if I got your name terribly wrong or not. Hello. Thank you for the follow. Welcome aboard. I'm sorry if I mangled your name. Feel free to correct me there. Let's call the helicopter. Yeah, we can explore the base when there's more to explore. The bare bones right now. Pick up.
This is Pequod. Arriving shortly at LZ.
Maybe we'll check out a couple tapes. Instead of starting tomorrow with the tapes we picked up today, we'll listen to them before we sign off. I love the tapes. I love the tapes, but I will be a little sarcastic about them because I know that there are at least as many people who loathe the tapes as love the tapes.
Gaining altitude.
Yeah, Rango, you learn to take it in stride, but it still stings when you think you've got one wrong or you know you've gotten one wrong. a good thing we figured out how to make cardboard boxes, because I think we could build that base, but not a cardboard boxes. Well, let's build some stuff. Get some R&D going. How hard is it to build a personality around a username? Well, that's an interesting question, but I don't have an immediate answer. Depends on what you mean. Build a personality around a username. You mean to pick a username that implies characteristics and build some sort of a... What exactly do you mean? I mean, I could... Look, you've never seen my face, but you still have a set of characteristics for me. And I think that happens naturally, just with time. I mean, if you're speaking, even if you don't have a webcam, that's gonna happen. If you're not speaking and you have no webcam, that might be tricky, but... No, I think if your voice is out there, that'll happen kind of naturally. Oh, you're actually asking me. Like, I've never seen your face, but do I have a set of characteristics for you? I see what you're saying there, too. Yeah, of course I do. I don't have a list. I couldn't, like, describe everybody's characteristics, but in my head, somewhat organically, yes, I attribute characteristics to anybody I see more than a couple times. You know, I mean, somebody who says hi and nothing else, then says hi again in a month. You know, all right, maybe I don't attribute too many characteristics, but any more than that, and the human brain can't help it. Of course we do.
Boss, I know you haven't been back long, but I prepared a list.
Sorry,
of
reading
missions
comprehension fail on my part.
Open your iDroid.
Mining clerk includes lurking, noob. Alright, I gotta follow the rules. But I don't want to deploy.
I've taken the job offers Diamond Dogs has received and made a list of those I want you to consider. Which ones you accept is your call. The objectives of the missions I've added are prisoner rescue, facility sabotage, and high-value target elimination. Probably all a walk in the park for you, but they should help you get back on your feet. I put the mission details on a cassette tape. Refer to it if you decide to accept the mission. We'll receive GMP for completing missions, and extracting soldiers and prisoners will boost our ranks. Building up Mother Base is the first step to achieving our goal. If that means wet work, so be it. We're gonna have to get our hands dirty. I hope you're rested up, because we're not stopping. Not until the pain is gone. The future of Diamond Dogs is in your hands. We're counting on you, boss.
So we can't look at side ops yet. Missions have showed up. Yeah, Ty, I was gonna ask about that. Hey, nice. All done with the paperwork on the promotion. Kinda starts Monday. As long as it starts on paper Monday. As long as it starts on paper. Congrats, Ty. That's good to hear, Ryan. Rango, playing off what you said, you may find this hard to... find it hard to believe, but unless somebody... In terms of people's age, my perceptions of the age of people in the channel is so varied. And I know your ages are all very, are varied, but I don't always know. And sometimes as we're assigning characteristics to people without thinking about it, we're assigning that part of it too. If someone doesn't have old in their name, or doesn't say, I just got back from school today, or, you know, if there aren't some really clear tells, the brain will fill in the gaps on its own. I often don't attribute an age in my head organically to people unless they do. I don't know. It's not like I'm trying to avoid it. I just... Sometimes it surprises me later when I find out that someone is younger or older. Really? I had no idea. Happens to me a lot. Let's get a tape playing and then go look at development stuff. Ooh, the yellow tapes are more important, but they're all rather interesting and they're lengthy and there's a ton of them. And I don't think we're gonna listen to them all here. Music tape 1. Some of these carry over. Do you always start with all these, or did some of them carry over from the data that's synced online? I know those we just found. She blinded me with silence. Man who sold the world. Just clear all these. Is there a button to clear them all? Want to set the helicopter to Ride of the Valkyries because, of course, I do. Let's play some of these or all of these, and we'll start some development, and then we're gonna wrap. So no more missions tonight. Just a heads up, if you're looking for action, we'll resume tomorrow. It's on the schedule.
You were hospitalized in Dikelia, a British sovereign base area on Cyprus. It's part of British overseas territory that falls outside of Cypriot jurisdiction. You got moved from Cuba's Little America right into Cyprus's Little Britain. Why Dikelia? The UK and the US remain close allies. The last place Cypher would think to look for you is inside their own system. That's
Hey,
what
boss.
kept you safe in British
What's up,
military
man?
hospital for 9 years. The safest place from a whale is inside its own belly. You were a regular Geppetto.
Well, it wasn't Pinocchio who led me out to safety. So who was that guy?
Cypher went so far as to attack British territory, burning their own ally. That's how badly they wanted you dead.
He said I was in a British military hospital. But the doctor had a Greek accent.
They hire locally. Easier to trust them. Dikelia is also home to Greek Cypriots, after all.
What about the Turks? They haven't returned to the south.
Not yet. The Cyprus dispute is still a long way from resolved. The country is just as split as it was in '74. Turkish Cypriots in the north, Greek Cypriots in the south. Between them, the Green Line, the UN established.
And Dikelia sits right on top of it.
It does. Part of the buffer zone between the two groups. Another reason it was the perfect place to hide you. Easy to spot any outsiders snooping around.
So how do things stand?
Now, last year, the Turks declared that the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus is an independent state, though it's only Turkey that recognizes it. In the past, the Greeks and Turks lived side by side in the same villages. There are reasons to fight. Those came from the outside. Greece, Turkey, Britain, America, they all have their own stake in pitting the two sides against each other. But once you spark something like this, it's impossible to control. Both sides build up grudges like debt, without the foresight to see that each act of revenge just fans the flames. And then it's too late for other nations to rush in with peace talks. The embers keep on smoldering. Each nation's arrogance only breeds anarchy. The world is paralyzed by this hunger for revenge. Cyprus is no different. You're up.
We're changing ships?
We can't do the
Yay!
same
Hey, we
with
get
the
tucks
Suez
right
or
away.
Whaler.
The Suez Canal. When did they reopen it?
Not long after you were attacked. Once they finished sweeping it for mines after the Arab-Israeli conflict. Can you stand? We're going to transfer to a container ship for passage through the Suez. Our destination is Pakistan, Afghanistan's neighbor to the south. There we disembark and head via Peshawar to the Zero Line, the border.
We'll travel
Do
to the
that
Khyber
later.
Pass by road.
Expensive.
And then continue on horseback. Afghanistan's main roads are under Soviet control. We'll need to go around them. It'll be all narrow, winding paths through the mountains. We'll do better on horseback. It's a local guerrilla tactic. They use the higher ridges to avoid air recons. Then they charge down the mountains for ambushes. The Soviets still haven't devised a counter strategy. Our time frame is only half as much as we really need. It'll be a tough march.
Better horses than boats.
Well, it'll make for good physiotherapy. Take the time to get used to that new arm.
While the Soviets have indicated they are not
It'll
participating
be
in
a
the
long
Los
time
Angeles
before we have a
Olympics, primarily
suppressed
because
sniper,
the United States has made no
suppressed
attempt
trank
to guarantee the
sniper.
safety of the Soviet Union's athletes.
Go back there.
The United States is increasingly demonstrating the belief that the issue has nothing to do with its preparations, and in fact this is retaliation for the Western nations' boycott of the previous Moscow Olympics. That concludes today's news.
That's quite some news.
Soviet
Mostly we
Union
need R&D
attended the
levels.
LA Olympics? Yeah. Andropov's
A
death
lot of
has
stuff we
changed some
could,
things.
useful
They're
stuff we
calling
could
it
work on if
revenge
we
for
just
the
had
Western
more
boycott of the
R&D.
Moscow Olympics.
Countries boycotted the Moscow Olympics.
Yes. In protest of the Soviet Union's invasion of Afghanistan. Over 50 countries
that.
were absent. It's too bad I didn't get to see Yamashita's
Ocelot's
judo.
revolver.
When the 40th Army crossed the Amu River 4 years ago,
They added a lot of stuff.
détente went right out the window. The U.S. Congress chose not to ratify SALT II, and Reagan's hardline politics won him the presidency in a landslide. According to him, the Soviet Union's an evil empire.
A second Cold War.
And there's been no end to regional conflicts and civil wars. Lebanon, the Falklands, Grenada, Iran, Iraq. The story never changes.
Egypt and Israel did sign a peace treaty. But then the driving force on the Egyptian side, President Sadat, was assassinated afterward. Apparently, his actions were considered a betrayal of his fellow Arabs.
Those are fun.
Islamic extremists?
Yes, fundamentalist extremists have been responsible for some bold acts of terrorism in recent years.
We've had extremist students in Iran take U.S. embassy workers hostage, and suicide bombings in Lebanon. Over 300 foreign soldiers stationed there have been killed.
The countries have yet to develop an effective means of dealing with terrorism. Afraid of losing their own men, they've pulled their forces out, handing private forces a golden opportunity.
Private forces?
Small armies with no national affiliation, working for the highest bidder. That's right, they got the idea from you. After Mother Base went down, they began spreading to meet the soaring demand. Miller's organization is just one of many
with the
PF
trank
now.
version. That's not
The
too
entire
far off.
world
We
is
need a
after
medical
you.
team.
But at the same time, it needs you too.
And then
Miller told me about what happened in the Caribbean 9 years ago.
get a
You
scope.
do remember Miller. You'd formed a private army with him.
And
An
with the
army
right
no allegiance
craftsman,
to a nation.
tradesman, we can
I see.
make the
You're
scope.
not sure what's fact and what's a fantasy caused by the coma. It's still all a mess, huh? All I can do is tell you the facts as they were told to me. I've gone easy on you up until now, but this is where the hard stuff begins. 1974, the year before you entered your coma. You were in Colombia, operating with a small unit of men, basically mercenaries. Miller was among them. Miller was trying to find a way to turn his and your talents into a line of work. He was looking to start a business where you would fight on behalf of others around the world, those who needed military force. But the reality
may as well do
was,
the
at
cheap
that
stuff.
time, you didn't
It'll all
have
get
enough
really
gear to equip
expensive
your own
later.
men. Then Miller came across this client. It was a huge job he was offering, but you had a shot at pulling it off. You accepted it and headed into Costa Rica. The client even threw in an offshore facility in the Caribbean. The Mother Base, that would be your new base of operations. Miller sure did have a head for business. As your mission went on, your unit grew and grew. More weapons, more money. Before you knew it, you were commanding 300 men. As the organization got bigger, your military powers swelled to match. It got so the international community couldn't afford to ignore you. You were just too damn successful for your own good.
Our online stores
Your
are
men
greater.
had worn out your welcome.
You just automatically access your
Everyone was
online
out for
stores
you.
as needed.
East, West, First World, Third. It was only a matter of
transfer
time
them?
before someone took you down. And that was XOF. Officially, they're an anti-terror unit under the CIA. In reality, They're Cypher's private strike force. They lured you to Cuba using Chico, the Nicaraguan revolutionary kid, and Paz, a mole who worked for Cypher as bait. While you were gone, XOF, posing as a nuclear inspection team, stormed Mother Base. At the same time, C4 they placed on the strut legs went off. The whole thing went down in minutes. XOF. Kisses and hugs, followed by a big F you. All because of Miller's blind spot. A back door into Mother Base.
Keep old
no
records?
Suspected. You remember
We deleted the
a certain
save data?
scientist. Huey was responsible for bringing the inspection team on board, giving the enemy a perfect opportunity to hit you at home. You were returning from Cuba when it happened. Mother Base came damn close to taking you with it into the Caribbean. Those of your men out on assignment returned right away. They refused to believe the wreckage in the water they found was Mother Base. But they checked the coordinates again and again, until reality finally settled in. You were supposed to die that day. That was XOF's primary objective. As far as most folks know, you did.
I missed
the
it.
first doctor to see you wasn't even sure what he was looking at. Before they'd even finished operating, your men moved you to that hospital in Cyprus. There was a woman named Eva who arranged that.
There's a lot of tapes. We don't have enough stuff to research while we wait.
Most men in your condition would have been written off right from the start. But you survived. You went straight down to hell.
Can't set the helicopter music yet.
Your eye wide open. Full of venom.
This is a bit of a pain. I don't really want to mess with the emblem.
Welcome back, Venom Snake. This world still needs you. Here, Snake, try this on. A prosthetic arm. Yeah, Miller was calling it the arm that wasn't there. The physiotherapy's going well. Your arm's bulked up enough for it to fit. There. Perfect. A little time with it, and it'll work better than the real thing. What do you think? I can still feel my real arm. Well, you better get used to this one quick. You have any pain? Every now and then. Where? My fingertips. My left fingertips. Sounds like phantom pain. Your brain still remembers your old hand. Yeah. What about your vision? Can you see okay? Yeah, at the moment. Now, the shrapnel in your skull is pressing on your optic nerve. I'm told any hard impact could have an effect on your visual cortex. Yeah, the doctor mentioned that. Your brain might process visual information incorrectly.
Nothing else there.
In other words,
For us.
You could have hallucinations. You might see things that aren't there, or not see things as they really are. You experience any of that? I think so. When? Right after I wake up. Colors look faded. Colors, huh? Well, that's not a major concern in and of itself, but it could mean the difference between life and death in the field. You'll need to watch out for that. I will. All right. You should continue your physio. We'll be arriving soon. It's the last chance you'll get.
I was wondering, boss, were you waiting for a pickup or Goodwill or what? Just lurking. Yeah, we're actually gonna wrap soon. We're gonna have stream tomorrow and Saturday, and Saturdays I'm planning to be longer. Tomorrows we're gonna play it by ear, so we might only get 4 hours tomorrow, but I'd like to get 6 or more on Saturday. I have a feeling I'm gonna get more into this as we go. Like tomorrow, I think I'm gonna get pretty sucked into this game again. I was feeling it already yesterday, just tinkering with ground zeros, trying to get my bearings.
Ocelot, I hear they started calling you Shalashashka in Afghanistan. What's that about? You know the term Sharashka? It's slang for a suspicious, hastily thrown together organization. The word became associated with a type of forced labor facility in the Soviet Gulag system. OKB scientists and engineers who'd been convicted of crimes were sent to a Sharashka for forced R&D. The Sharashkas were supervised by Lavrenti Beria of the NKVD, the secret police, under the official name 4th Special Department. Forced research? That's not very different from what we do here. Diamond Dogs is different. Everyone here believes in you. Regardless of where they came from or why they're here, they revere you. And they're fighting because it was their choice.
And if it wasn't, they'd leave?
Who knows? That's our reality here, whether it's real or not. If there's another truth, I don't want to know it. All that matters is that's the
Rango, you
concept
signing
that's
off?
taken shape in their heads. The traces of a group ideology, our superstructure, to put it in Marxist terms.
All right. Go on.
Right. So anyway, at some point the enemy started calling me
These
Shirashka.
tapes could help you go to
This was
sleep.
after the war in Afghanistan broke out.
Sleep aid.
While I was keeping an eye on you in that hospital, I was also heading up interrogations here. The men I broke gave up their comrades and families, everything they wanted to protect them most. No real cause for it. I just let myself get caught up in the old Russian pride. And suddenly I received the
Sleep
honor
well, then.
of becoming special
Get her done.
interrogation advisor
Catch you
to
tomorrow.
forced labor camps. But the more men I interrogated, the more people saw me as just that, the interrogator. It helped cover my real objective of keeping you safe.
You went that far for me?
Far enough to keep you alive. I ended up being pretty well known among the Afghan guerrillas. Some of them would have seen me on the battlefield, and that's how I got the second half of the name. Shashka. It's a sword, a type of saber from the Caucasus. Russian dragoons and Cossacks carried them into battle. Now, the Russian Empire had a general by the name of Fyodor Arturovich Keller. His bravery earned him the nickname Russia's Greatest Shashka. Someone must have known about that, because somewhere along the line, Shashka got stuck on the end of Shirashka. The guerrillas were using the name amongst themselves, and by the time I got to hearing
This
about
is such
it,
an overwrought
pronunciation
explanation.
had wound up as Shalashashka.
So, half gulag, half hero sword. Is a perfect fit.
But you see how rumors and ideas about people can get out of hand fast.
Yeah, and some things
Once
are
you
better
create
left
a character and
unexplained.
put it out there in public mind, it warps and twists with every baseless rumor. And before you know it, all people see are phantoms. In my case, it works out just fine. I'm plenty used to working under aliases.
Plenty used. So, might not be short. See, all right.
So SALT II still hasn't gone into effect.
That treaty was drawn up to limit not just the size of the U.S. and Soviet Union's nuclear arsenals, but also their delivery systems. The whole deal. Just when we thought all those years of negotiations had paid off, somebody decides to invade Afghanistan. The timing couldn't have been worse.
The president was in the middle of the SALT II talks back then.
You mean while you were busy trying to stop Peace Walker? I heard. President Ford was meeting with the General Secretary in Vladivostok. In his absence, the political brass in America detected what they didn't realize was false nuclear launch data from Peace Walker, and were on the verge of ordering a retaliatory nuclear strike.
Coleman's big idea? Humans are incapable of destroying themselves. Turns out he never knew what humans are capable of.
If that AI, I mean, the boss, hadn't found a way to stop the fake data transmission, they probably would have gone ahead with the launch.
Deterrence was revealed as the pipe dream it was.
All thanks to you.
Should have been logging in over the past 2 years. I'd have a ton.
The U.S.-Soviet talks looked set to fall through. What happened in Nicaragua no doubt helped trigger a change of heart.
Oh God, every line.
But in the end,
the time's define the politics. When you've grabbed their tail, they turn and bite
I've
your
looked
hand.
at that log.
I first met you 20 years ago now. The place was Selenouyarsk in the Soviet Union. We were enemies. I was with the GRU. You were still fighting for America. 1964. Operation Snake Eater. Its objective? The assassination of the legendary soldier known as the Boss. When you returned home successful, they awarded you the title Big Boss. Your CO, Zero, sought to carry on the boss's will by covertly establishing his own organization. You knew the original members from Operation Snake Eater. From America, there was David O, or as he was to you, Major Zero. Donald Anderson, aka Sigint. Dr. Clark, who went by paramedic during the operation. And the fourth, you. From China, there was Eva. And me, Ocelot, from the Soviet Union. 6 in total. To us, government notions of friend and foe were meaningless, as were East and West. We joined forces by our will alone. Our objective was to fulfill the boss's dying wish, to make the world one. And to do it, Zero used the Philosopher's Legacy, the secret war fund you obtained during Operation Snake Eater. This organization would go on to become Cypher. I, on the other hand, was left with the problem. You only recovered half of the legacy. I had to locate the other half myself. When I found the funds, I passed them on to Zero, just as you wanted.
I still trusted him in those days.
We thought what he was doing was the boss's will, until he started that one project.
Les enfants terribles, Zero called in.
You parted ways, as did Eva, leaving only Anderson and Clark still with him. I maintained limited contact, although truth be told, we were just keeping tabs on one another. The reason was always you. After you returned to the Army and created Foxhound, you left America. For a time, even I'd lost track of you. I'd imagine Zero did too. You always were the best when it came to hide and seek. Zero created Cypher, an information network to tap into every corner of the globe. Woven together, Cypher's arteries make the world just one big organism. And that's not all. It also monitors the thorn in Zero's side. That's you, tracking your coordinates wherever you might go. The further you strayed from your roots, the larger Zero became. It's as if he was trying to close the gap between you. But before long, he disappeared from public life. Only a few people had direct contact with him. For a time, I was one of them. Then a year after you fell into your coma, he slipped out of sight entirely. Since then, nothing. No photos, no recordings, not even a reliable rumor as to his whereabouts.
Not even a postcard!
I tried every method I could think of, but
what a jerk.
Zero was gone. Freed of his control, his creation, his power continued to grow. Cypher is a great beast, and Zero was its spine. But even without him, it's endured, evolved. But now its body is rotting, riddled with parasites. Parasites like the ones who attacked you 9 years ago in the Caribbean, and then at the hospital.
Parasites.
Cypher's Black Ops Unit, XOF. They learned where you were, and came to wipe the slate clean. Christmas Eve, 1979. The Soviet Union rolled into Afghanistan. Muslims had revolted against the Soviet-friendly regime established the year before. The DRA forces could no longer contain it themselves, so the Soviets went in to intervene. The Afghan government was powerless and fraught with infighting. They lost the hearts
can we
and
play
minds
two
of
tapes
the
at
people,
once?
and that alarmed the Soviet leadership. With the Islamic
Blinded me
Revolution
with
happening in
silence.
Iran, the Soviets felt they had to act fast or risk the spread of Islamic revivalism. A superpower, sending a motorized rifle division against men on horseback with antique rifles. Everyone thought it'd be over in an instant. Only it wasn't. Some Muslims made their fight a jihad, a holy war, and began a guerrilla campaign on all fronts. A war of attrition. These fighters call themselves Mujahideen. They're being supported by the West through Pakistan. That's why Miller was involved. He was training them near the Zero Line, sponsored by the CIA. The war has become a nightmare for the Soviet troops stationed here. They thought they'd be headed home in 6 months at the most. Then a year passed. 2 years. Now here we are 4 years on with no exit in sight. Afghanistan has become the Soviet Union's Vietnam. The Soviet troops on the ground want to go home.
They forgot.
But at least they have homes to go back to. The Afghans have lost theirs. The Soviets destroy the kishlaks, villages, wherever they can. They burn down homes and fields, fill in wells, turn pastures into minefields. It's created a mass of refugees who fled to Pakistan. If the Mujahideen are fish swimming around the villages, the Soviets will go so far as to dry out their ocean. But this has had a big price. There's bitter resentment among the Afghans, and they're taking out their anger on the soldiers on the front lines. Among the Mujahideen are the Pashtun people. They're fiercely devoted to their code of Badal, or revenge. Soviets they've captured have had their hands, feet, and noses cut off before being left to die at the side of the road, just to show their comrades what they're capable of. Friendlies who come across them can do nothing but put them out of their misery. Then they burn down another village in retaliation. And the cycle of vengeance goes on.
The last tape ever! For now.
Snake, I wanted to ask you about the man on fire. What do you remember from the hospital? Anything we can use?
Fire? Water?
He took off the moment the sprinklers started up.
Sprinklers? The fire system?
And when he got sprayed with water from the burst pipe, it slowed him down.
It's fire,
If
see?
we escaped on horseback, he wouldn't cross the river either.
And then it started to rain. And he disappeared.
Water against fire. Is it that simple? I mean, it makes sense. It's just hard to believe it would work on a guy like that.
Well, we'll see then. Yeah. Alright. They keep the old records? Today records? No, just today's. Okay, that's fine. I've got blinded me with silence. Stuck in my head. Abandon the mission. Yeah, well, it's not really abandoning a mission. We haven't undertaken a mission. Tomorrow. We resume tomorrow. Thank you for joining me today. I had fun. Ground Zeroes was a good warm-up. There it is. Let's make sure we got that on the menu. Saved. 1%. Catch you all on the flip side. You guys are awesome. Stay that way. See you tomorrow.